My name's Simon, I'm from England, but I've lived in America for the past 10 years, so that has made me Australian. I don't know how that happened. I love it in America, though, I really do. People are always like, how do you like living in America? It's so dangerous, and there's no health care. And it's like, yeah, sure, we may have all those things. But I'll tell you what else we have. We have Ford F-150 trucks, the size of a small bungalow. And we have pharmaceutical ads where I don't care what product they're promoting, but I love seeing a bitch smile. And we have mass shootings in the second largest city in Arizona. And when I make jokes about it, people say it's too soon. And I say it's actually pronounced Tucson. And we have the tri-state area. And I don't know what 3 states that's referring to. But they talked about it a lot on Phineas and Ferb when I was young. And we have currency, which is all the same color, which means I have to look at the face of the founding father before I tell the homeless guy, sorry man, I got nothing on me. And we have our worst towns named after great cities from all around the world, which is the best insult this country has. Because what's funnier than someone from Ohio meeting someone from Greece and being like, you're from Athens? No way. Me too. And we have cicadas every 17 years that show up every 2 years. And we have the driving app Waze, where when Google Maps is like, this drive is gonna take you 5 hours and 15 minutes, Waze is like, you can make it in 3.5 if you're not a pussy. And we have the yard as a unit of measurement, and when all the Europeans are like, a yard is 91.4 centimeters, every American's like, nah, a yard is from here to here, that's a yard, okay? And we have just so many gay people, which is fine. And we have just so many dogs. We have big dogs and little dogs, and we have cute dogs and ugly dogs, but we also have Snoop Dogg, and we have Dr. Dog, and we have the Costco $1.50 hot dog. And you can call me a Haitian in Springfield, because I'm eating that dog. And we have the national anthem, which everyone knows every word to, but no one knows what any of those words mean. What the fuck is a rampart? And why is it gallantly streaming? All right, that's probably enough pro-America material up top. There are gonna be people watching this in other countries like Canada, or as I call it, America's Taiwan. So... I don't know who I am. No, I would like being in America. Like, it's so easy for me as an immigrant to be in America, right? Like England and America, you take away the small differences. We are pretty much the same. Like, we speak the same language. Like, a real immigrant is someone who has to learn the language. Like my buddy Phil. I went to high school with Phil. I actually went to boarding school, and you guys know what boarding school is, right? Yeah, gay high school. So... But Phil was from South Africa, and so English was his second language, so sometimes he would get his phrases mixed up. Like one time, he was playing in this chess tournament, and he lost in the final. And I asked him afterwards, how do you think you did? He said, bro, I thought I was as good as him, if not worse. I was like, that's not a phrase. But it absolutely should be. It's like, hey, how did Ohio State do in the game last year? As good as Michigan, if not worse. He said, bro, am I going to be in your stand-up now? I said, yeah, you just said one of the funniest things anyone's ever said. If not, less funny. But it's cool to be. I am from England. Anyone here from another country make some noise? Yeah. Okay. Where are you from over here? You're from where? Bulgaria. No way. Do you know the capital of Bulgaria is Sofia? That's a little trick I learned when I was 18. I learned the capital of every country, because I was very eager to lose my virginity. And I read online that women like a well-traveled man, and I wasn't well-traveled, but I was like, fake it till you make it. I learned the capital of every country just so I could lose my virginity. There are 196 countries. 195 if you're Chinese. I learned the capital of everyone. And I'll prove it to you right now. Yell out any country, I'll tell you its capital, just so I could lose my virginity. Chile, Santiago. Some more countries?
Yugoslavia.
Argentina, Buenos Aires.
Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia, not a country, sir. You are stuck in 1991, but that's cool. All the power to you. Lithuania, Vilnius, some over here. Denmark, Copenhagen, one more. Venezuela, Caracas. In other news, I lost my virginity to a prostitute. So, who saw that one coming? Not I. I was 18, I had just graduated gay high school, and I'm on a trip with 5 friends through Europe, which is gay America, and I get a message, I'm in Amsterdam, I get a message from who else but Phil. And Phil says, Simon, I see you're in Amsterdam, I'm in Amsterdam, do you want to get your rocks off in the red light district? I say, absolutely not, Phil. That kind of life is not for me. No, thank you. But then he says, come on. And I'm like, okay. So, we meet up in the red light district, and we see this one woman, and she is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. She's female. And so I go up, and I knock on her door, and she lets us into her office. And I'm like, hi, my name is Simon, this is my companion Phil, it is a pleasure to meet you. She says, take your pants off. We take off our jeans. She says, and your underpants. I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to do this with Phil, right, Phil? And I look at Phil, and Phil's got his dick out. And she says, okay, let me get someone else. So she goes to the back room, she brings out another prostitute. It was double Dutch. And she says, who do you want? And Phil says, I'm happy either way, mate. Lips are lips. And I'm like, that's the grossest thing anyone's ever said in the history of things. But then the original prostitute, the OP, she says, hurry up, who do you want? And I'm like, I guess I've known you for longer. And so the other prostitute, she leaves with Phil into the back room. As she's leaving, she turns around, she looks at me, she says, fuck you. I say, you wish. No, but I'm left with this lady. I take off my underpants, I put the money on the table, and we have sex. I don't know if you've ever lost your virginity to a prostitute, but your mind, it kind of races through all these thoughts all at once. It's kind of like, do we kiss? If I go down on you, do I get 50 euros back? You don't. And so I finish, and that was how I lost my virginity. Afterwards, we clean up, we shake hands. I say, that was my first time. And she says, with a prostitute? I say, sure. But then I'm like, no, that was my virginity. I know it probably wasn't special for you, but it was kind of special for me. At the same time, it just feels kind of wrong not to know anything about you. Like, can I hear about your life, like who you are? I'll never forget what she said. She said, my name is Elena. I am 34 years old. I have worked as sex worker for 8 years. I come over from Croatia with my 2-year-old child. It is good work. It is legal work. Because it is legal work, I feel safe. I feel protected. I don't necessarily enjoy the work, but who enjoys work? We do the work to provide for our families, and anyone who looks down on sex work should really be looking down on themselves. I said, you're from Croatia. Did you know the capital of Croatia is Zagreb? And then Phil emerges from the other room and we leave, and as we're walking in the afternoon sun, this whole thing took place at 2 p.m., Phil asked me, how much did you pay? I'm like, 150 euros. He says, you paid that much for a blowjob? I say, I beg your pardon? He says, we were just going in for blowjobs. You just got a blowjob, right? I was like, no, Phil, I had sex with her. He says, you had what? I'm like, she's a sex worker. I thought that's what we were doing. You go to a steakhouse, you order a steak. You don't just order a blowjob. Phil looks at me and says, Simon, you're disgusting. I say, but Phil, you said lips are lips. He says, yes, Simon, lips are lips. What did you think I meant? And I say, I would rather not tell you. And it was a horrible feeling because I looked in this man's eyes, who I considered to be the most depraved, illicit, unethical person I had ever met. And I could see he now thought I was as good as him, if not worse. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for listening.